Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. The custody hearing concerning the future of hundreds of head of cattle seized by the Hopkins County Sheriff's deputies and the SPCA of Texas will be held Wednesday, 1:30 p.m. in the district courtroom of the Hopkins County Courthouse. Originally set for the Justice of the Peace courtroom, the case has been moved due to the anticipation of a larger crowd. The hearing will only focus on the custody of the cattle and not any criminal charges against the owner of the cattle, George Lawrence Bergen, age 61, of Sulphur Springs. Bergen was charged with a state jail felony, which carries a punishment of up to 2 years in state jail and up to a $10,000 fine if found guilty. Bergen was in Hopkins County Jail following his arrest for cruelty to animal failed to provide. At first, it was thought that there were 200 to 400 head of starving cattle that appeared to be suffering from malnutrition. That number has increased, according to Justice of the Peace B.J. Tier, who will preside during the custody hearing. The livestock were transported to an undisclosed location to be treated by a veterinarian and to receive proper nourishment. Although not present for the second day of her trial Tuesday, a Hopkins County jury found Carrie Amanda Crump, age 28, of Sulphur Springs, guilty of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. The guilty verdict was delivered around 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, and the sentencing phase got underway 15 minutes later. Before 11:30 a.m., the jury sentenced her to 2 years in state jail and assessed a $10,000 fine, the maximum punishment. Ms. Crump was in attendance at the trial Monday and testified in her own behalf. Her absence Tuesday means that law enforcement is now seeking her. In April 2017, she was the driver and sole occupant of a vehicle that had been involved in a single vehicle crash that occurred on Interstate 30 near the 111 mile marker. She admitted to deputies at the scene that she had used PCP just prior to the crash. When arrested by the Department of Public Safety trooper on Airport Road around 6 p.m. on the Sunday following, she also admitted to the trooper that she was under the influence of PCP. She admitted blacking out while driving after smoking the PCP. In a search of her vehicle, 3 cigar-type cigarettes were found. They appeared to be moist, consistent with being dipped in liquid PCP, according to the arresting officer. A small vial of suspected PCP was found secreted in a cigarette pack. She had been taken to Christa's Mother Frances Hospital in Sulphur Springs and then to Hopkins County Jail after her arrest. She was indicted by a Hopkins County grand jury in August of this year. Monday morning, Sulphur Springs School Board heard a number of reports and approved personnel changes during their December meeting. Sulphur Springs School District Financial Accountability Rating for 2016-2017 is a perfect rating of superior. And the district auditors, Rutherford Taylor and Company, stated that the district received the best opinion or unmodified. The board approved the 2017-2018 District Improvement Plan and the TASB Localized Policy Manual Update. All members of the board have met or exceeded training requirements for the year. For a list of personnel changes made by the board, go to ksstradio.com. Sulphur Springs Independent School District Education Foundation awarded $27,519 in teachers' grants recently. Included among the recipients, $1,200 for bilingual tutoring connecting high school dual language speakers with Travis primary bilingual students to provide academic assistance and positive role models. $5,091 was given to the Growing STEM Kids activities at the Early Childhood Learning Center. $1,390 for Raspberry Pi, that's Pi as in the mathematical Pi, powered photo booth at the class of Kelly Shute, the computer science class at Sulphur Springs Middle School, will design and develop. $7,990 to bring the Perot Museum Campus Outreach Program to Sulphur Springs Middle School science classes. $2,400 for heart knowledge in their athletic and PE classes at Sulphur Springs Middle School, using heart rate monitors and pedometers to combine technology and fitness. Other grants that were awarded may be found on ksstradio.com. Hopkins County Commissioners Court approved the segment of Crosstown Trail that will proceed from Buford Park to the Civic Center with a slight alteration of the path to provide greater safety for pedestrians in the area where livestock are often found. The approval came Monday morning during their regular court session. In other action, Commissioners Court approved a final plat for the Sprague subdivision in Precinct 2 and approved a service agreement to handle medical waste at Hopkins County Jail. Here's Don Julian with sports.
First in news, members of the Wildcats band competed at the all-region tryouts last Friday, and we learned more from Wildcats band director Charles McCauley.
Yeah, we had all-region tryouts on Friday night, and this is the one where 9th through 12th graders go. We went to North Lamar, had a real good night. We had 10 students who made it. 11 spots were earned. One student actually earned 2 spots. Celeste Leeds La Liberté actually made it on piccolo and flute, but she's chosen to do flute for her area. And so we had 10 students who made it, 5 of which are going to area. So really great. That matches our high ever for a number of people going to area. So at least during this last 20 years. So I'll just go ahead and tell you who they are. On flute, Celeste Leeds La Liberté. On clarinet, Carissa Carter. On clarinet, Kate Flores. On tenor sax, Riley Farley. On bass clarinet, Natalie Cruz. On trumpet, Nathan Brady. On French horn, Zach Phillips. On French horn, Peyton Ball. On trombone, 8th grader, Tyler Burnett. And on trumpet, Adam Ost. So there were 10. And then the 5 going to area are Celeste Leeds La Liberté, Carissa Carter, Riley Farley, Natalie Cruz, and Nathan Brady.
How do you get to go to area?
You have to finish in the very top 1 or 2 of your section, or 3, depending on the size of the section. So they only choose the very, very top percentage. And so if you're in the top couple of chairs, that's how you get to go. So it's really you have to be really good.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about that. And that'll be January 13th in Richardson. And that will be the chance to go to state if they do well from that. If they, again, make the top 1 or 2 chairs. It's difficult because you've got all these 5 regions and everybody. And there's not but about, there's like 32 clarinets there, but there's like 16 trumpets and trombones and stuff. But all of them are area players, so they're all really good. So they pick 1 or 2 from each section, and that's it. So it's a real tough competition, but it's very good. It's an honor to be over there, and we're honored to have those kids participate.
Has there been any emphasis or change that would have you doing best ever, or is it just the quality of the kids you got?
Well, both. I mean, I think, first of all, we have terrific kids. We've always had terrific kids. But I think the emphasis at the middle school for several years now, for many years now, there's been a real emphasis at the middle school for all region, and I think that tradition is carried through now to the high school, to where those students are going, as they realize it's a important thing, and they spend the extra time and extra effort. Also, private lessons. So I think you combine, we have super kids, plus we have a private lesson program, plus I think the middle school started kind of gets things started. So I think all 3 of those things.
Yeah. Some people just wander into a bank and there the jazz band is playing Christmas carols. We might give them a heads up. They can make an appointment to kind of be there when the jazz band is there.
They can. We're playing today, but this will already air at the time we play at City National today. 1, 2, 3. And Thursday we're playing at Alliance Bank, and that'll be at about 11:45. Just give us time to set up, and 11:45 on Thursday. So if they want to come hear the jazz band, they can hear the jazz band. Since we didn't get to do the band concert, now the middle school bands are going to perform their middle school concert on Friday, and the jazz band's going to perform there. We're going to go at 5:30 Friday afternoon, and so the jazz band will perform there. But the regular high school band will not, because we have so many kids. We have 15 or more conflicts with previously. I mean, this wasn't on the calendar, so we just can't do it with that many kids gone, and so the high school band won't perform, but the middle school band will. And the jazz band will, and that'll be on Friday at 5:30. So they'll get a chance to see the jazz band at the Alliance Bank on Thursday at 11:45, or also they can see them on and the middle school bands on Friday at the middle school in the gym.
Well, just like always, band very busy all the way right through the Christmas break here.
Right through the Christmas break. Friday will be our last. I'm checking my calendar here. Yes, Friday's our last performance. It's always a really busy time, but it's a fun time and a good time, and kids are participating. And the whole thing with All Region, the weird thing about this year was Song Ensemble is early. It's on February 9th. Seems like it's early every year now. But we had to get our music out for that while we were working on All Region, while we were doing the Christmas parade, while we were still playing football, while we were trying to get a concert together. So it has been interesting around here. And now we're having tryouts. We're having tryouts for our symphonic band and concert band here now. So it's been a busy time, but a good time and busy time. And kids are involved, and that's always a good thing when they're busy and involved and achieving like they've been doing. It's really fun to watch.
The last few minutes presented to those that think that the band goes out 10 Friday nights and that's it.
Somebody at a local establishment, local grocery establishment the other day, so what do y'all do after marching band's over? Well, we do a lot, but you don't know it till you're in the band world, but kids are still doing a lot of great stuff.
In sports, the Wildcats basketball team defeated Paris 64-41 Monday night in Wildcats Gym before a big crowd. All 13 Wildcats got to play and 11 scored. Keaston Willis had 13 points and Victor E. Walker had 12. After the game, I talked with Wildcats coach Clark Cipolletta at courtside.
Coach, Paris has always been a tough matchup over the years. They always bring a good team in, and we put it on them tonight.
We did a really good job. I thought this might have been some of the best team basketball we've played. We just did a super good job of not taking the first shot available, but giving up a good shot to get a great shot. And early on, just the unselfishness that we played with, it sits true to me. I mean, it's like music to my ears. It's like Spurs basketball, and when we can do that, I think we're gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah, you kind of talked about the shot selection a little bit, sometimes not the greatest, but tonight 10 threes and by about 5 or 6 different guys.
Absolutely. We had over 25 assists tonight. I was super proud of that number, and that number doesn't come, from selfish play. That number comes from you giving up shots to get people better shots, and tonight that was on the three-point line, and we're a great shooting team. We spend too much. I tell the kids, y'all come in too much in the summertime not to be great shooters, and you just got to have confidence and step into it and let it fly, and tonight we were able to connect with some of those.
You always use the gauge of less than 10 points, and you held Paris in the first 3 quarters to less than 10 points. So that's a good Wildcat defense.
That's something we're really proud of. That 9 or less, it's like you said, it's just if we can get them in a single digit, you're really getting stops, and the guys just locked in, and we're able to just compete as a team, and they ran a lot of different cutting actions, and early on it kind of gave us some trouble because we weren't communicating at the level I need us to, and they're late. We were able to really communicate it and kind of shut down anything they were trying to get.
Yeah, when you see a lot of the ball going around the perimeter, and it's just like what's there? It's just like you run out of options, you take a 3 or something.
Right, and they try to make you be really patient with the way that you play defense. They're going to be really patient on the offensive end, so most teams want to play defense, for 5-6 seconds. Well, we do a drill where we'll play defense for a whole minute in practice. And if they mess up just once, we'll start that minute over. So it's really creating that discipline, in their head and preparing us for moments like this. So I'm glad to see, that carry over from practice.
Anybody kind of stand out in your mind that just kind of jumped out there and played well for you tonight?
You got about 30 minutes to talk. I could give it to you, but I thought Jefferson did an extremely good job of just finding guys. It's not all about scoring, it's about making the right reads, and Keaston stepped up, knocked down big shots, GGX. I mean, they all played well. I can't really pull up one kid to say that they did any better than the others because it's such a team, and as a coach, that's just how I view it.
And once again, we've said this several games now, 13 played and 11 scored. So, and you got some great participation off the bench.
We do. We have such a good quality of kids that have really dedicated their young lives to basketball and getting better. And at times they get opportunities to play, and they're able to make the most out of those because they're ready. I always tell them all the time, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And they do that by mentally locking in and focusing on, just being ready to take advantage of that, and they do.
Now, I think you've got one more non-district game before district starts. I believe that's correct. And it's Royce City, and we talked about them earlier today. They are a scrappy bunch that if you let up for a second, they're going to be coming at you.
Yes. They're a team that's going to put a lot of pressure on you. They shoot the ball really well. I was telling Don earlier, they remind me a lot of that Rockwall Heath team. Just really sound, scrappy, play up to their full potential every time that they play. They're well coached, so it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
2, ready, go. King.